that person isn't part of your tribe, other than by that there's some blood involved.
But see, I think also part of the tribal part of things, tribes by their very nature are very narrow groups. They may be dispersed geographically further,
Right.
but they're still very narrow groups. You could say conservative Christians, that's their tribe.
Right.
And they may not have a crazy uncle, but they may have somebody that doesn't.
Well, it goes both ways. I'm sure the conservative Christian may not have any connection with me, other than we're in the same
so
family.
they're not going to listen to you or talk to you or try to create common ground. They go into their own little echo chamber.
Right.
Okay, is Trump not the Trump people? Is that not a tribe? Is that not an echo chamber? And is Cruz not creating his own little chamber?
Right, but
Okay.
to be able to become elected president, you're gonna have to go. You're gonna have to reach beyond your tribe.
I don't know. That's what we're going to find out.
Leave your limiting beliefs at the door. It's time for Carl and Mike.
And welcome to Carl and Mike.
I'm Mike.
I'm Carl. You jumped in there, didn't you?
I did. I jumped in early.
I like that. Take an initiative, Mike.
Yeah.
That's good. How's it going?
It's going good. It's going good. We were talking last time about soul versus lizard,
Yes.
which I really like that.
You like that?
Yeah, and it made me realize how much my being triggered by somebody like Trump and stuff that he says is probably not that much different. I've always thought of myself as a fairly normal person. And so I
Yes.
think that if I'm being tripped up and triggered by some of this stuff, everybody else is too. And so it made me think, what is it about me that is that way? Or what is it about those statements that makes it so easy?
Yes.
And
Besides, it's freaking the lizard brain.
I think he's kind of like flicking that little part of your brain, but it's because it's easy. It's for flicking the brain and easy. Coming here this morning, I was listening to NPR, and they were talking about issues of free speech. Okay.
Right.
And there were a couple of lawyers, and they were just bogging down with all these reasons why you can't do this and you can't do that. And I realized that I think a lot of people don't want to listen to that. They want something that they can digest quickly. They don't want to have to think that much about it. Because in thinking about the lizard, and when I was saying what you need to, what Trump said, is that you have to just kill all their families. And I admitted that I had said that same thing. And then as I was driving away from our recording last week, I thought, well, but I don't want any of my family being responsible for going over and killing these families.
Right.
Okay, I don't want to hand over my children to the government to execute some sort of program like that or strategy like that, because that's going to fuck them up for life.
Right.
There's no way you can come out of that and be okay.
So the conscious Mike is stepping to the
Well,
forefront.
no, the conscious is, and I think you have to step back from this flirting with the lizard that we all have. I think that's a big part of what Trump is hitting. He's thumping that lizard.
Right.
And it's easy to.
I was kind of disappointed a little bit. Sounds weird. I know I'm making a blanket statement here, but I was kind of disappointed in the United States in general. The reaction to Paris. It sounds like we went right back to 9/11 mentality.
Yeah.
And, we didn't make good decisions as a country in that place. We can say what we want, but Bush had George W. had a 90% approval rating at one point.
And what did he say to hit that lizard brain?
Yeah.
You're either with us or you're against us.
Axis of evil.
Axis of evil.
We see you here. We're going to get you there.
Yeah. Real simple, short catchphrases that people can rally behind and accept on some sort of weird level.
Yeah.
Without thinking about it. But then the other side of it is people that over-intellectualize all these kind of things. It's like
those lawyers.
Well, like they were talking this morning about social media and how it, it's free speech and everything like that. I got to thinking, well, before Facebook, before Twitter, we had free speech, didn't we? Did we or did we not have free
But we
speech?
still have free speech.
No, I said, did we have it before those technologies existed? Did we have free speech before telephone existed? Did we have free speech before radio? Did we have free speech before
Yes, but
TV?
our speech was limited in scope.
Didn't matter. We had free speech.
Yeah. you can
Okay,
say
so
what you
all we're
want to.
talking about is the size of the microphone, the size of the audience that you're
ability to
able to
reach,
listen
yeah.
to, reach to. So that's really all we're talking about is the size of the audience. You had free speech when you could go down to the park, your neighborhood park in like the 60s, and stand on a soapbox and talk to people, and you had maybe 20 or 30 people around you. That was free speech. You could say
Yeah.
what you wanted to. You didn't get in jail.
Right.
So all of a sudden now what you've got instead of a soapbox is you have Facebook that enables you to stand, in your pajamas or buck naked in your house and broadcast some sort of hate-filled shit throughout the planet.
No, not throughout the planet.
Sure.
So you're
throughout
only
the
getting
planet.
Facebook with the people you're friends with.
Well, okay, Twitter. There are ways with
No,
the
even Twitter.
website. You're not going to make me try and figure this out, are you? Okay.
I'm saying you don't have unfettered. Michael Morris does not have unfettered access to talk as many people as he wants to.
If I put up a website that
Yes.
says I'm a Nazi
Yeah.
and all Jews are shit,
Yes.
and that's available to anybody that wants to get on the internet and get it,
Find it.
that's
yes.
the entire planet, right? That doesn't mean the entire planet
Okay.
logs on and reads it immediately, but it has the ability to do that. YouTube
Technically.
has the ability to do that.
Technically, you're
Okay.
correct.
Okay.
But reality,
Okay.
you're not really correct.
Okay.
Technically, you have the ability to reach anybody on the
Yeah,
planet.
technically, I
that
have
has
the
an internet
ability.
connection.
So what I'm saying is, are we confusing media with free speech?
In regards to what? Trump has much bigger platform.
Well, anybody with money has a bigger platform.
Yes.
Anybody with money and power has a bigger platform than you or I do. It's always been that way, even back in the 1860s. People with money and power had a bigger platform, right?
Yes. So what's the point?
Hitler
Where
had
are you
a bigger
trying to
platform.
get?
I'm saying if limiting access to certain medias helps limit their access and ability to recruit, is that limiting their speech?
Well, I think we
Or
are
is
trying.
it just
we
limiting
are.
their ability to
We
recruit?
are trying to limit ISIS's ability. ISIS isn't a U.S. citizen.
I'm saying take it down.
Take what down?
Take it down.
The internet?
Sure, take
You're
it
back
down.
to the lizard brain.
No,
That's
no.
a lizard brain
well,
remark.
it
That's
ma-
like stop human capacity for conscious growth.
well, this conscious growth hadn't been so great.
Well, the internet, you can block ISIS. That doesn't have
They
to
haven't
take
been
the
able to
internet.
do it yet.
Well, I don't think there's been a concerted effort.
Well, maybe not. I don't know. But they're still doing it, I guess is what I'm saying.
I know, but you see, that's to me, that's just a. That's just a.
I'm not saying burn the libraries, burn books. I'm not saying do that kind of thing. I'm saying
So we all lose our internet
Take what
because
they're-
ISIS is wanting to recruit through the internet.
you want to deny them access to chemical weapons, right?
Okay. How many ISIS sites have you been into?
I haven't.
Right, because you don't have an interest. It is so. The media portrays this as ISIS is influencing these otherwise happy-go-lucky Muslims.
Uh-huh.
No, most people have
Yeah.
to search out. You have to search it out. You have to find it. You have to want to learn about it. There's an impetus there already.
Okay. And
Okay?
if you
So this isn't like
okay,
I'm just
no,
happen to be
I
flipping
to-
around AOL and I accidentally come across an
I
ISIS thing.
totally get that.
Right.
But if you limit some of these people access to that information, do you also limit the actions of those people? Probably.
For a temporary short-term thing, but there'll be a ways around it.
Like what?
Look at China.
They're gonna
China
get on a
tries
boat and go to
China
Syria?
tries to block certain sites in the U.S. that they deem offensive to communism or a threat to communism, and they block for the average Joe. Yeah, they probably don't see it, but I don't know if they were going to it anyway. But
But they
other
also
people
keep
work.
people from stepping on soapboxes in the middle of the park and saying
Right,
stuff against the
right. So
government.
you can
we
keep-
don't do that.
Well, that's what you're kind of
No.
moving towards
No.
with that argument
No,
of yours.
I'm saying, okay, would ISIS have the reach and strength and ability to recruit that it does today that it did in 1975? No. No.
No. Yes, that's true.
No, it doesn't. And
Yeah.
what's the difference between now and then?
The difference is
Internet. The media has changed. The ability to do that. The communication. Okay, the communication methods have
I thought
changed.
people would, before they sent out leaflets. I mean, they sent out pamphlets, newsletters, whatever. Yeah.
Well, and they
There's
weren't
always
able
been,
to
There's
recruit.
always been issues.
I'm not saying there's not going to be there. I'm saying it limits its scope and its ability to do what it does.
You know,
I'm just asking. I'm asking, is that
Yeah, but
not something to consider?
no, it isn't. People went, 9/11 ran in 3 airlines. Should we stop flying a plane? Would they have been able to do 9/11 the way they did it if they didn't have airplanes? No,
Well, it's not
they
some-
wouldn't have. So we should do what? Not fly airplanes, not have airplanes, limit the use of airplanes, get rid of airplanes altogether? Using that same argument, they couldn't have done 9/11 with airplanes.
One's a communication argument, and one's a method of killing. You could say the same
Method
thing.
of communication.
Okay, no. The planes were not a method of communication. They were
No, I'm saying-
method to kill.
Right.
Guns are a method to kill. We're saying if you limit guns, okay, here you go. If you limit guns in the United States, are you going to have fewer people kill each other?
Yes.
Okay.
If you
Okay.
Okay.
All right. We have proof of that, right? We have
Yes.
proof of that because we have
Yeah.
limitations in other countries that they've limited, and so they have less violent crime. So we're saying that is something that could happen
Right.
more than likely if the guns were limited.
Yes. Right.
Okay.
So how are you going to limit internet, Donald? Too?
Just start taking some of the shit down.
Well, people are doing that.
Huh? I mean,
They're-
down. I mean, Facebook.
I mean, Anonymous took out
A little Facebook site
5,000
that says it's down, it's gone.
Yeah,
I
but
don't
you
know
have to
what it's going to
identify who
take to
they
do that.
are.
Huh?
You're going to do all Muslims can't be on the internet?
No, it's not all Muslims. You, I, everybody. Instead of growing a victory garden in this effort to try and erase this scum from the planet, instead of what did they ask people to do during World
What
War
do
II?
you-
We sacrificed, right?
You want us to sacrifice the internet? Are you serious?
I'm saying I was fine before the internet came around. Did you
We
not?
are so fundamentally opposed
No,
on
did
this.
you? Did you? I know we are, but I'm saying, did you not live a decent life and have a fulfilled life?
I have a much
before?
better life now.
Why?
The internet
What
has
is it about
been
it?
a much better thing, not a worse thing.
Well, I'm not arguing that point. I'm
Yeah.
not arguing that point.
What are you arguing?
What I'm arguing is the ability of people to abuse that. What you don't abuse and what I don't abuse, other people are using and taking it for advantage of it to do what they're doing, recruit and communicate.
Okay, well, first off, ISIS doesn't have the ability to communicate that well on the internet. I think they get challenged all the time and blocked all the time or monitored
And they go
all
right
the
back
time.
up. They go right back up. That was part of what this thing that I was listening to this morning said. You can block them and they go right back up. You know, they have entities like Anonymous after them. We don't know how that's going to go. Talk about, the dark web going after the dark web.
Yeah,
You know,
and the
that's-
dark web is bigger than the light web, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, and is it a good thing?
Inside.
Is it a good thing that we have the dark web? I would argue absolutely fucking not.
Yeah, but here's the deal, Michael. How did the
Tell me how the okay, Carl.
It's
Tell me how the dark web is a good thing. Give me one good thing about the dark web.
I don't know that much about the dark web.
Well, the dark web is used for buying guns.
There's got to be done for more than that because the dark. I've heard
hits.
recently the dark web's bigger than the regular web.
Bigger how? In number of people that access it, or the amount of money that goes through it, or what?
I sounded like it was bigger.
I can't
I
imagine
don't-
that.
Yeah, I don't. I found that.
I
hard
can't.
to believe,
Yeah,
too.
I can't imagine there are more people that want to push drugs. Exchange women or whatever.
Okay,
they,
but you're
whatever
dealing
they're
with the
doing.
world of effects. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you're not dealing with the world of cause. You're dealing with the world of effects. You're trying to eradicate the effects, but there's a cause that's moving this forward. You can deal with the effects all day long, but if you don't get into the cause, it ain't going to really matter.
I
The
agree.
effects can constantly change.
I totally agree
So
with that.
trying to,
I totally agree with
ban
that.
the internet or whatever.
The cause and the Wahhabists and people in Saudi Arabia and that
there's
started all this.
There's a thing started. This woman came from Saudi Arabia.
Oh,
I think
absolutely.
This is a
Absolutely.
radicalization.
No, when we talked about that, remember I said she was the one that pushed him over the edge. I think that's probably what happened.
Got himself a bride, and
Yeah,
she was
got
a
himself
hardcore.
a bride.
Yeah.
Would you agree that the Wahhabists, if this really radical sect, if they were limited in who they could talk to and they were stuck in Saudi Arabia and they didn't have the ability to, log on to the web and throw a line out to New Jersey somewhere and bring somebody in?
That works both ways too, right? It works both ways. If Saudi Arabia is gonna open up the internet so that they can propaganda that stuff, they're also gonna get people in Saudi Arabia are
Not
gonna get to see.
necessarily.
Gonna get to see stuff coming in the
they're
other
blocking
way.
stuff. You said earlier that China's blocking stuff
Yeah, but
coming
people
in.
walk around it all the time.
Well, they do, but not to the same degree that it would be totally open to everybody. And it's also
First off,
illegal
you don't think
for
the
anybody.
United States would start to pump stuff in there?
Start
You don't think
stuff
that there's a war of minds going on?
I want to hope that there is.
Yeah.
And I want to hope that the
So some little Saudi girl finds out that other women drive all over the place. And
Yeah.
God, they have freedoms. And look at that. They don't even wear skis.
well, it's not just driving though. They've got the freedom to do that and freedom to do all kinds of things, but a lot of that freedom goes against their religion. And religion's a nasty little thing.
If you're saying that we should actively try to limit the free speech of ISIS on the internet, I have no problem with that. ISIS is a virus, it's a cancer, you got to contain it. But if you're talking about to do that, we're going to limit my access to the internet, no.
So you're not willing to give up something for the greater cause?
I don't think that is something for the greater cause. I think that's a move towards the wrong direction. I don't have any problem with blocking ISIS.
Okay,
But
if somebody
we're
came to
moving
you
this-
today and said, Carl, we have proof that if we block Twitter and take Twitter down completely, we'll get rid of ISIS completely. Don't say whether you could. Somebody said that they could do that. Would you be willing to give up your
No,
Twitter?
because I would argue that couldn't happen.
How do you know? These are the people that know.
prove to
you
me.
don't know. You don't know that.
What?
You don't know that. You don't want to believe that
No,
because
no.
you don't want to give it up. No, you don't want to give it up.
No, Michael, because it would be taking humankind and going in the wrong direction. We are driven, hardwired to explore, to move forward, and internet is the most recent example of that. It is not going backwards. There is no going. The rubber band has been stretched.
So the human beings are done what? They're hardwired to go forward.
Yeah, they're hardwired too, and the internet is a prime example of that.
And go forward and get better and better.
Yes.
And the burning of fossil fuels, for instance, has been a good thing.
It's been a step.
It's been a step.
You can't get to the next thing until you get through this thing. There's got to be a point of contention that moves everything forward. It's like the sand and the pearl.
Well, maybe we're at a point of contention. Maybe,
We are.
Maybe the internet and those kind of globalization is.
That's why we had a
maybe what we're
conversation
doing is
yesterday called last gasps. I think we're in
Yeah.
the last gasps of our fossil fuel. I think we're in the last gasps of the Republican Party the way it was for this last 20 years. I think we're in the last gasps of
we may be in
radical Islamic extremism.
And we may be in the last gasp of what we thought were the benefits of globalization, right? Could you say that?
No, I think
No?
we're just at the beginning. We haven't had any globalization. We're just starting globalization. We're just starting the ability to connect. Somebody said something that was very interesting, about the internet. Pre-internet, you were limited to talking to people that were around you, right? And, if you were a gay kid in Kansas, in a small town, you had basically all the people that you could talk to or know, hated you or hated what you were about or whatever. And then the internet allowed you to reach out to find your tribe. And sometimes your tribe isn't local. And sometimes your tribe isn't even your family. Sometimes your tribe is, but your tribe is out there. Your ability to connect with people are out there. And that's what the internet provides.
Right.
So if you're sitting there on Thanksgiving Day looking at your phone, that not necessarily is a bad thing. Because maybe you don't have any connection with this uncle that comes by once a year and spouts off his stupid, Archie Bunker stuff. That isn't really who you are all about. You just happen to be in the family of them, but you don't necessarily have any connection to them.
But by looking at your phone, you're definitely throwing up a wall for any possibility to connect with that person.
That person isn't part of your tribe, other than by that there's some blood involved.
But see, I think also part of the tribal part of things, tribes by their very nature are very narrow groups. They may be dispersed geographically further,
Right.
but they're still very narrow groups. You could say conservative Christians, that's their tribe.
Right.
And they may not have a crazy uncle, but they may have somebody that doesn't.
Well, it goes both ways. I'm sure the conservative Christian may not have any connection with me, other than we're in the same
so
family.
they're not going to listen to you or talk to you or try to create common ground. They go into their own little echo chamber.
Right.
Okay, is Trump not the Trump people? Is that not a tribe? Is that not an echo chamber? And is Cruz not creating his own little chamber?
Right, but to be able to
And?
become elected president, you're gonna have to go. You're gonna have to reach beyond your tribe.
I don't know. That's what we're going to find
Well, I
out.
think we're gonna find out
We're
really
gonna
easy.
find that out.
Cruz or Trump are the nominations.
We're going to find
We're
that
gonna
out.
find that out real quick.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. I think that the coalescing of these tribes draws
Because
a
politics-
light to them, and says, okay, we talked about this too. When you have a tribe like that around one person, magnetic, charismatic person, you start to look at the people around them. I look at the people around them more than I am Cruz or Trump. I want to see who those people are. I want to understand that demographic. I want to understand that tribe and what draws
educated
that tribe,
whites
what
around
what
Trump.
coalesces that tribe. And
Well-educated whites that are getting that lizard brain push, just like you and I are getting the lizard brain push.
But they're also, New York Times had a real good article this last weekend on Trump, and they took something like 95,000 words that he's done over the speeches and stuff and started analyzing them for words that he uses a lot. And he uses we and us. Not me so much. He does use me and I a lot, but he does. He
You're saying
uses
there's not a narcissist?
we and us. No, I'm saying he's still a narcissist.
Right.
He's a contriving little narcissist, but he uses we's and us because they want to feel like they are part of that tribe.
Right.
They want to feel like they're part of something. He knows that,
Right.
and he's using that. And
I can't figure. So there's a couple theories floating around about Trump.
yeah,
And tell me if you think. So one theory is that Trump really doesn't want to be president, and so he's in a sense keep pushing the envelope to get himself out of it, in a sense, by being more and more bombastic, for lack of a better word, being more and more outside the mainstream, and that he's surprised that he hasn't collapsed already. So that's one theory. I don't know. What do you think of that theory?
well, I think that theory
So is it
requires
subconscious
a
or
certain level of
conscious?
self-awareness that I'm not sure that he has.
Okay. So, but could his subconscious be driving it?
Meaning,
Meaning he knows deep down on some level that this is not right. I'm way over
I
my
don't
head
buy that
here.
one either. I think he
Okay.
very much believes that
All right.
he is the savior.
So you don't think that he's doing things consciously or subconsciously to sabotage himself before the votes come? Because it does seem he keeps ramping it up in a for lack of a better
I
word,
think
a
he's,
Hitler-esque
I think he's
sort of way.
conscious of the people that are supporting him and what I think he is pushing the limits to find out what the limits of acceptance are within that crowd.
Right. So the other theory, so that's theory. So theory one, you're saying no.
But the thing is, I don't think he consciously says, "Okay, I'm going to say this thing about Muslims
No.
to see if the people still hang
I
with
don't
me."
either.
He just spouts that off, and then we find out.
But he does
after
seem to
the
be
fact.
escalating it. It's almost like he doesn't. He wants to get. He wants to get.
Well,
Which brings us to theory two.
I'm not sure that he is escalating it as much as events are escalating it. He didn't say that before the thing happened in
well, maybe.
Bernardino and Paris.
Right.
He's doing it after the fact.
Right.
And so I think
Maybe he is a lizard in himself. Just he's all lizard.
Oh, he's the lizard. Well, I don't want to say the Lizard King because that's Jim Morrison, but yeah, I think.
Okay, so second theory is that he really has it out for the Republicans, and he wants to bring something pissed him off. And the sub theory of that one is, is a secret Clinton plan.
He's trying to destroy that. Well, that could be I don't think it's a secret Clinton plan, because that would mean he would be subservient to somebody else. Yeah. And I don't believe that the Donald would ever be subservient to anybody. It could be that something's pissed him off about the Republican Party. He may have donated some money to somebody and they didn't.
Is he pushing this to end up getting pushed out of the Republican Party to run his own third party to take the Republicans down? Let's face it, if
he goes third, they're out.
They're out.
Yeah, he's already done the damage.
This is the perfect storm.
He has already done the damage.
Republicans really are getting their karma handed to them on a platter right now.
They built this fucker, and now they got to drive it, and they can't drive it.
If they kick him out, they've lost. Mm-hmm. And if he wins, they've lost.
Yes,
they've lost either way.
Or if Cruz comes in first and wins, they've lost. Because Trump, they're not going to kick him out. He'd leave on his own.
But right now, it could easily be Trump-Cruz 2016, which it should be.
Trump-Cruz? No, I don't think Cruz would be a second fiddle.
Yeah, I think he would.
You think Cruz would be a second fiddle?
Yeah.
Do you really?
Yeah, I do. Because I think Cruz is much more. Cruz is not lizard.
Yeah.
Cruz is devious.
Yeah.
I think Cruz would believe that Trump would not make it through office, that he'd be forced to resign due to some scandal, whatever.
Yeah. I don't know.
Or Cruz right now is just waiting for Donald to explode and try to get as many of his people as what happened with Ben Carson.
I think Trump responds to what's going on in the greater world in a very negative way, and then everybody else waits to see what he does, and then their response is somehow calculated about what he's said.
Right. So let's talk about what he said for a second, because what he said is we want, this is being recorded on December 8th. Mm-hmm. He's basically yesterday said that he wants all Muslims to be barred from entry, even if they're citizens. They can't come back if they're not traveling. And
where everybody's wondering, is this the final straw that's going to bring down the Donald?
So this is total lizard, right? Appealing to that. He'll solidify his base around this. I don't think he loses people because of this.
The ISIS, Daesh, whatever they're called these days, they're looking for Armageddon. And Armageddon's supposed to be fought in the last battle right there in Syria where they are. That's why they're there.
And the Christians want Armageddon, too,
and they want it, too. Except theirs is the rapture,
Right, but according to biblical thing, it's right there.
Right.
Right. First off, as with the wall, there's no way to actually enforce these things. You're not going to mass deportate. There's no way to do that I know of, unless you're going to have troops house to house.
What, and kick them out?
Yeah.
No,
and
that's not going to happen.
Blocking Muslims, so you're basically going to have to block brown people.
Yeah.
And exactly how are you going to know they're Muslim?
Well, and it's just not.
Muslim isn't a religion. You write on a card.
It's not
you just
an
say you're
ethnic
Christian.
Group necessarily.
You say you're agnostic.
Yeah.
So
you lie. Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you block?
Yeah.
You block it by Arab names. If you have an Arab name, you don't get in. They're going to assume you're Muslim.
Again, that's a real simple solution to a very complex problem, and that's the way they would do it, because these people look different from us. They must believe different from us.
But if you just took the Muslim thing out and you put Jew, is this not fascism at its finest?
Oh, yeah.
This is the closest I've ever seen fascism.
Sure it is. But people are not going back. They don't see that. Or the putting Japanese in internment camps, which is one of the worst things this country's ever done.
Which wasn't that long ago.
No, which really wasn't very long ago. So obviously all lessons were lost.
So my question to you is this a product of Fox News, or was this just always there?
I think it's always there. I think Fox taps it just like Donald taps it.
So I would say to you, in a way, this is all this stuff that's happening is kind of good, because it's shining a light on something that, it's like with the cams with the police these days. Now we're seeing all this police brutality.
Yeah.
You think this wasn't happening before?
No,
it was happening. We just didn't see it.
Yeah.
Right.
So what you're saying is that all the technology allows us to see this.
Exactly. Shines light where there was darkness.
Light where there was darkness.
Yes, to quote my friend Tyndall. Seriously.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No, yeah.
It was there. They just found out that there's this Mississippi Police Department that have been planting drugs on blacks for the last 20 years or something like
Yeah.
that.
Well, and the broader media allowed us to report the pretty spanking little boys, too. You know,
Yeah.
that was able to come out.
And I think Trump's doing that. Trump's shining the light on a segment of the population.
He wants the spotlight on him.
Yeah.
What we're seeing is the spillover of that bright light. We're seeing all the people that are surrounding him, the ones that club the black guys, or the ones that are, the
And it
cracker
turns out, I
son
guess these
bitches.
guys didn't even vote before.
Might
So
not.
this might be, they're not necessarily conservative Christians. It could be kind of low-educated white secularists.
I don't know what they are. I don't know what they are, but there is a crowd of them, and they're out there and they're pissed off, and he's
they're
leading them.
Is it a reaction to Obama?
Oh, I think it's any and all that shit. I think it's stuff that's been building for a long time.
Well, great. Then let's poke the blister and pop the pus. And you got to get it out there. That's what's happening right now. What bothers me is the San Bernardino thing or the Paris thing, how quickly we go to, this Muslim thing.
Well, that's a big part of what it is. I think people feel helpless and they want to do something. They want to do something.
Yeah.
But it needs to be something that's a quick, digestible bite. They're hungry, but all they're looking for is fast food. No, I'm serious.
I really, I think this.
They want to drive through. They want drive-through solutions.
I'm going to talk now. I'm tired of the religion thing. Whether it's like this battles. Enough.
Mm-hmm.
I think the non-religious have to step up and say, you know what, we're not. Both you guys.
Yeah, just
Pox on both
live
your
the
house.
good life that you profess
Yes.
to believe in,
Yes.
and leave everybody else alone.
Yeah.
Okay, just leave everybody else alone.
I mean, Jerry Falwell Jr.
Oh,
wanting guns, everybody, all the students to carry guns. I mean, just
Yeah,
let the insanity go.
yeah.
Here's the deal. You cannot be Christian and a supporter of guns which kill people. Last I looked, thou shalt not kill is right on that fucking stone
Yeah.
tablet.
It didn't say you shall not kill with guns.
It said thou shalt not kill.
No, I'm telling you, if Jesus were alive today, he'd be packing a 9.
Jesus would not be back.
He'd be packing a 9.
He wouldn't.
Under that robe, he'd have a 9mm and a bulletproof vest.
You cannot be Christian and you cannot be for guns. How about I'm going ahead and saying that?
Okay, yeah, no.
Because I'm sorry, there's a fucking tablet that says thou shalt not kill. And
Yeah.
last thing I looked, a gun kills. I don't care if a gun kills a deer or a gun kills a human. A gun kills. That's its purpose, to kill.
They may have to pass an amendment to the 10 Commandments. It's like they do amendments to the Constitution.
Yeah,
Well,
how
you
you
need
gonna do
some
that?
amendments. I don't know.
Well, so we've had a contentious little
Yeah, it's been
conversation
good.
today.
Yeah. I think this is the kind of thing that everybody needs to go through just to try and figure out where you are. I'm still trying to do it, still trying to figure out where I am.
I hope
In
I
that
shed some
lizard
light for you,
versus soul. Huh?
Michael. It's not shutting down the internet.
I still think it's shaking down the internet.
Yeah.
I just
Well,
don't-
you've got no
I-
internet right now with your AT&T,
Okay, look,
right? Your
I'm
internet's
making,
down for 2.
I'm-
Why don't you just tell them to fix the TV,
I'm,
leave
I'm
the internet
making,
alone?
well, because it's all part of the same thing. It's coming in through the
you
same
can go
pipe.
in and say, hey, no,
And
reverse.
so, I can get some rabbit ears and just,
Yeah.
get what I get.
Yeah, really. Why don't you?
Yeah.
You could do that.
I might do that, actually.
Yeah,
This
really?
might be the time to go out and get some rabbit ears and see what I can actually get. I could do that.
You can do that. Go to Costco for $40. You can get
I could
those
do
antennas.
that and then see what I get.
You get quite a bit, actually.
Really?
Yeah. And then you can watch the rest of the stuff
There
through
you
your
go.
iPad on
There you go.
HBO Go
Or
for
I
$10
could go to
a month.
Radio Shack. Oh, whoops. They don't have them anymore.
Oh,
Or
they
there's
still do.
some, a few,
Radio Shack is still alive. I have a good friend that works there.
Really?
Yeah, they're alive. But
Well-
they're never going to be as long as they keep the name radio.
Yeah. Yeah, we got to go.
We've got to go again.
Yeah.
Went quick, folks. As you can see, this is a debate we're having, and Carl Mike and the rest of the country. We live in, you got to say, we live in interesting times.
Oh, buddy. Yeah.
When you've got the top presidential candidate of the United States saying, ban the Muslims.
Stupid shit like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Tell everybody where to find us.
Find us on
It-
carlandmike.net. Carlandmike.net. You'll find everything.
Actually, if they're listening to this They have found us.
Well, yes, but there's more of us. There's more of us to love,
There's
Michael,
more than
at
just the two of us?
carlmike.net.
Oh, okay.
But they could be on carlmike.net.
Oh,
If you
okay.
are on carlmike.net, go over there to subscribe and get our mighty fine show notes sent to you. So whenever we post an episode, put the show notes up, you get it, and you're first to know about it.
Yeah.
Because our mighty fine show notes will take you to specific places, and this one will be a hard one
Yeah.
to show note because we're all over the place. We're on iTunes, Spreaker, Podbean, Stitcher,
Danker, Wonker, all
Hummerdinger.
that wonderful stuff.
the Google.
The Google,
You can find us everywhere, Mike.
the Chrome.
Yeah, that's a web browser.
All
Yeah.
right.
All right, Mr. Anti-Technology. We'll see you later.
All right.
Peace.
Out.